Happy Friday, everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome. Let me get my chat up here. Can y'all hear me? Do I need to yell? Glad to see everybody. Ground Fog, Tina Turner, Dark Gravity, I Love Knives, Crispy Critter, Gone Awry, Brand New American, Blade Ogre, Joe Isabella, Revolving Blades, Michael Morgan. Welcome, guys. I'm stoked to see y'all here. We're going to have a blast. We might have some surprise guests stop in. We might have some, there's no telling. Distant 01, welcome, brother. Glad to see everybody. I hope everybody has had a fantastic week. I hope everybody is TGIF as I am. Glad that it's over, at least for... And I learned a long time ago, I'm not wishing my life away, but I do look forward to Fridays. I've got somebody knocking at the door. Let me bring them in. It's our friend, the man, the legend, Dark Gravity.
I don't know about that. I'm doing my best tonight. I'm still sick, so.
Yeah, Dark Gravity's sick, guys. He might bounce in and out, but I figured if we could get any of his expertise, Jason Grant might jump in here in a little bit and say hey and show us something pretty cool he got in today from. I'll just leave it to him.
I think Jason Grant's more of an expert than I am.
Did everybody have a great week? I hope everybody did. But I'm getting ready to get another fixed blade to go with my fixed blade infatuation from Mr. Jason Grant. He's been showing me some different ones he's working on, and I think I've settled on a little wicked. It's going to be a small, it's going to be EDC, but it is a wicked, I mean, like tactical looking little Tanto that I would never think would make for an EDC knife, but the way he has designed it with the hollow grind and with the very compound front that's a little bit more beefy. It is a cool little knife. Howdy, Bama Ninja, Blaze Burger, Demonok. You probably can't see the chat, can you, my brother?
No.
I'm Jeff's A to Z EDZ's out tonight, but he said he's going to try to join us next week. I've got to go by and give him a little quick tutorial and hang him a little ring light because he's like, I don't have any light. I was like, you don't need light.
I just didn't feel like getting nothing set up. I literally just got out of the shower and come out, got dressed and come outside.
Man, when you told me that you've been sick, howdy, honey bear. When you told me that you've been going through a sinus infection, which is one of the worst, and then you were at work because you didn't know any other way, you're just kind of driven that way. I'm like, man, it's got to be miserable.
Oh, it was. I left early today.
Did you? I was surprised you were there. I mean, that's not how you recover, but I'm not a mama, so I can't be going that way.
It's just, I do what I got to do. I mean, we get sick leave, but it's a pain in the ass and ain't worth the hassle, so I just went to work and did my thing. Just went slow.
And suck it up and go. Hey, Stephen Wallace. Welcome, buddy. All of y'all are here.
Oh.
What'd you carry today, Mr. Gravity, while you can still talk? Did you carry something in your right pocket?
I carried the Strider SNG.
Nice. Was that your one and done for knives?
Yeah, that's all I carried today was just one pocket knife. And then I've got the tactile turn pin I got from you. I got a little Olight i3T EOS. Then, of course, wallet and keys. regular
That's
stuff.
something that's not part of my EDC during the day that needs to be, because I mean you need it when you least expect it, is a light. Today, like I was heavy on knives, I had in my left pocket, I had my recently acquired with Kyle Coonley, Coonlee's Wicked Edge on that. I don't know if y'all saw my Instagram video today where I was just slicing Post-it notes at work. But I carried that in my left pocket. And then in my right pocket, I carried my GOM. Let me put that away where I don't stab myself. And then in my right pocket, I carried that. And then in my belt, my Steel #1 are these little MKMs. And this one's a drop point. I switch back and forth between this one and the sheep's foot. This one's a great package popper, and it's a great kind of everyday cutter. But the sheep's foot doesn't have quite the point, the splinter remover, but it's very much a great little cutter. M390, under $100, come with a fantastic leather sheath. Keep in mind, if you want to go Kydex, it is an accessory, but it's an accessory that's not just the Kydex sheath. It comes with, like I think I've told you, Howdy Matty. It comes with leather straps. It comes with its own ulti-clip that's branded. It comes with, here, I'll make everybody a mod. Hold on. But it comes with a lot of accessories, everything you would ever need to carry it. And it's not, I would say it is a very, very well worth $35 for a carry kit. All right, this is flying by. Let me get back to my people who are wanting to be moderators or who aren't. Let's see. If I could catch up. I apologize, guys. I'm agreeing.
You was talking about flashlight, John. I use a flashlight almost as much as I do a knife, or probably more a lot of times. And it may be just old age and can't see, but that's why I carry one all the time, even when I'm off work, weekends. It don't matter. I have one of those, and I love the little i3.
Where do you carry it? Which pocket do you carry it in?
My front left pocket.
See, my front left pocket's where I carry currently, and I could put a flashlight in there too, but that's where I carry my little fixie. Even though I've got 2 fixies on me today, so I really don't need to have 2 fixies on me today. So I could have a flashlight if I'm wearing it on my belt and just switch up, because I've got a Kydex belt carry for every one of my pocket droppers. But that's usually where I've been Dark Gravity carrying my fixed blade as my left pocket. But I need
it's just a carry option. If you like, even when I carry a second pocket knife in that pocket, it'll be clipped to my pocket, and then the flashlight just falls to the bottom. That's why I like the smaller Olight, the i3 instead of the i5 or the Baton Pros and things of that nature, is because I put it in my pocket and it falls to the bottom. And so my pocket knife never hits it, and it never hits my pocket knife. And to me, 99% of the time, I don't need a big flashlight. I don't need to blind the world. I just need something because I can't see. And so that one just works just fine. And like I said, I probably use it as much or more than a pocket knife a lot of time, on a day-to-day basis. Because
I would think it would come in handy. I know at least once a day I'm looking for a screw or something under my couch, and it's not nighttime.
Yeah. Well, that's simply what it's for. Even in the middle of the kitchen floor, sometimes it seems like I can see better with a flashlight.
Yeah, it helps. It does. To me, it gives me that little view of something sharp and shiny over the corner.
Yep.
Old eyes suck. And
Yeah,
I'm going to
I
get you guys pocket checks if y'all want to put them up there, and I'll read them out. I would have done a beverage check, but I know Grateful Panic isn't here to show his off. I'm drinking a Starbucks energy drink, which I can't decide if this is, it's got the same amount of caffeine. It's just a little tiny double shot, which is only 8 ounces. And this thing is, I can't read it. 15 ounces. So it's 15 ounces. It's almost double. And it's got all the extras are in B complexes. So I've got to think that's good for me. Howdy, pretty fly for a knife guy. Let me make you a moderator too. Nope, you're already a moderator. Mike Reese, I made you a moderator. Bettina Turner is now a moderator. Honey Bear, I think, was a moderator. Oop. Honey Bear, how did I miss you? And you guys feel free to post anything in my lives if you want to pump anything up, if you want to do any self-promotion, I'm all for it. Revolving Blades, you're a moderator. If y'all want to, just because I can't link everybody's Instagram, but if you want to bring people over to your Instagram or let people know about it, feel free to drop your link in the chat, and feel free to drop your carries. Demonox carrying the Chavez, the Hinderer, the EMP, EDC, and a Baton 3. So he's with you, Dark Gravity. He's got a lamp.
That for me is the two that I carry for sure every day is a little flashlight.
Howdy, hey man. I just made you a moderator, and he's carrying a Tucson TS Tweet 223 and a Hogue Deca. I'm not going to interrupt you there, Dark Gravity. It's just going to throw in Neves Knives. Jared, my main man. Thank you for stopping in, brother. I would tell y'all to go follow Jared Neves, but hopefully every single one of y'all has, like me, been brought into the community by Jared Neves. Welcomed accordingly, and then been given reason to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I don't know if y'all seen Jared's video today that was just kind of a rant, I would call it more of a ode and a favor to U.S. companies. And I thought it was it was the way I think any content creator can utilize their voice for good in the community. That's just looking out for everybody in the community. And have you seen it, Dark Gravity?
I didn't get to watch it.
Watch it. Well, Grateful Panic had to go back. We started watching it again because I wanted him to see it. He had to go back and lock up. He might join here in a little bit. But it is a fantastic video.
When I come home from work, I went to bed, and I got up a little while ago and ate, took a shower, and walked out here. Since I got home from work, I've been mostly taking a nap.
I agree, Acid Test Kids. That video was needed. And just the timing of it. And Jared's unique way of delivering it with love. And that's one of the things I commented. I can't remember where, but he delivers it with help, with an olive branch, with I'm not here to stomp on you. China's doing a good enough job of that. And we don't like it. We want to buy American. Help us help you. And I mean, I think that is just more of what the community needs. And I thought it was great.
But they got to offer a competitive product. I mean, I don't know.
No, you need to watch the video because there's a lot of points about bringing out things that, they're 2 years behind.
Well,
they're 2 or 3 years behind what the community wants. And Jared's point was very valid. And I'm not ever trying to communicate with companies, but they don't have a very warm, it doesn't sound like, reception to influencers that are clearly influencers, that they make it either they don't return their emails or some do, but as a whole, you would think that, and one of the points of Jared's videos that really made me think is you would think that they think, all right, we've got all this local talent on our bench that we see our competitor China companies utilizing, because Jared made a great point. The Chinese companies know when your birthday is, they know when your wife's birthday is. They take a vested interest in not only the community, but in feedback. In some cases, they'll even send drawings to get your feedback before something goes into production. And that's just the way that we as the knife community, and we're just a small part of the knife community. That's just an oxymoron to even say. But as knife buyers that don't just buy at big box stores, to have a voice or a litmus test of what we actually want and to respond to it. And the video, watch it, Tad. Let me know what you think about it. And I thought it was great.
I know with Jared, when it comes to that, he's very articulate. Like you said, he's very even keeled. He's not like me and gets worked up and pissed off and starts ranting. He's very smooth tempered. And me and you've had discussions around that topic for a year or two now. And it's because I want America to succeed. But partly, I think, and everybody's talked about it this week. I'm with everybody on it. Benchmade does a titanium knife, the Narrows, and wants $500 for it. Now, I know it'll be in the fours because that's the MSRP and the map price will be lower.
Not a lot. I think it was $522 at Blade 8 Screw.
Oh, so I thought it would be like $480, $490.
It was $522 at Blade 8 Screw, but that could very well be $480 at normal places.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's going to be. But it's ridiculous. It's not competing with Hinderer or Chris Reeve or anybody else in that price category.
What is I'm trying to think what a Shadow and full titanium would be. A TRM Shadow is $389. It's under $500 in titanium. I want to say it's $499 if you buy a titanium Shadow, because that's the only way you can get it. And I would have to see a whole lot.
But that's a sculpted titanium handle.
Oh, right. It's not just a block.
The Benchmade does have cutouts in it, but it's not sculpted. It's not rounded. It's not 3D milled. It's 2D milled. The TRM Shadow is 3D milled.
Right.
Which takes a more expensive machine and is a more complicated process to develop the CAD program to run that. It takes a more skilled operator to the CAD system to develop that drawing, especially at the level of the either one. I mean, not that the Narrows, from what I've seen, is a bad knife. It's just way overpriced. But that's, I don't know if they're doing like so many other companies and using the supply chain issues to jack I know prices have gone up because of supply chain issues, but some of the prices, it just seems ludicrous. I mean, the Anthem isn't that far gone, was an integral with the plunger based axis lock instead of the Omega spring based axis lock. That was a much more difficult knife to make. And you could buy it just a couple of years ago in the fours. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know it's $4 something-ish. And to me, they step backwards as far as the difficulty and what you're getting, and then increase the price by $100. And that's just, to me, an insult to the community, because Joe Blow off the street's not going to buy that knife. I mean, they're not. They're taking advantage of the community that built their company. Because we're the ones who own 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, 50 of the same company's knives. Even when I was in the service, which is where I learned about Benchmade and Spyderco, the guys I was in the service with had 1 or 2 knives. They didn't have 20 or 30, much less 20 or 30 of one brand. And the community, there's guys in the community that have the addiction more so than the just obsession, where they're going to buy that knife. My
Right.
coworker has already went and talked to a local dealer that has been a dealer I know since the early 90s, because it's where I bought my first Benchmade from in like 1993.
And they're going to buy it because they're loyal to the brand.
Right. We know Benchmade's going to give him at least 1 or 2, if not more. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have them available, because ain't nobody that I've heard so far going to pay $500 for a Benchmade.
Jared's going to jump on one, but it's in the spirit of the channel. Jared was very supportive. Tree Stab and Troy, my man.
My coworker just buys them and leaves them in the box and puts them in a closet. I mean, he's addicted to buying them. He owns every Benchmade that's been made for like the last 20 years. He owns every Spyderco that's been made for like the last 20 years. He's the guy I was telling you about that lives with his mom and makes over $100,000 a year.
Is he one that'll ever sell stuff like that you can get in his collection, or is he a keeper, like kind of made like a hoarder?
No, he's a hoarder. He's a full-blown, he buys them for no reason whatsoever. He'll never see the knife again. He'll buy it, put it in the closet.
With every single knife that I have in my collection. If it's too nice, or I get a knife that means a lot to me, I won't cut with it as much. But like this knife that Tree Stab and Troy sent me, a DS KFS that just blew my mind. This little Joey Ramone chisel grind. I've already beat on it.
Well,
and
see,
Joey Slayer.
Joey would be mad if you didn't beat on it.
Oh, I know. And that's what they're for. And I was talking to Jason, who might jump in here earlier tonight, and every one of the knives that he designs is to be used. The fidgetability is second nature. I mean, we all love to fidget. We all love multiple deployments. But I really hope he jumps on and can show you guys what he sent me a video of. I don't feel comfortable showing it to you. But it's something that came in that he was not expecting today from Best Tech. 2 protos in 2 different colors that made me go, wow.
I think most knife makers intend on you to use them, despite how, you could argue they choose to do their blade steels. They just, some of them make them really, really pretty, where you don't want to use them, with anodization and coloring and
Damasteel and stuff like that.
Yeah, fancy steels. I mean, Damasteel is a good steel. I think, Damasteel is RWL 34, which is a pure version of CPM 154. And I don't forgot what the other steel is, but they're both, it's a good steel. It's a good functioning steel.
But it's pretty, and most people that spend that premium, I wouldn't think are going to go feather sticking, or to quote Ray, feathering some sticks.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't have a knife in Damasteel, but if I did, I wouldn't be using it for bushcraft work. I probably wouldn't use it for anything but to look at. And
I'd cut paper with it. For some reason, I'm one of those weird guys, and this is not probably considering, or I wouldn't necessarily be classified as use your shit, but I would argue that till I die, and it will be quicker than you guys because I'm older. But the bottom line is I love cutting paper, and I love cutting cardboard. One of the biggest regrets I've got, or one of the big regrets of a relationship that I had for a while with a very toxic situation, was that she was a compulsive Amazon shopper and bought a lot of stuff, really nice stuff, and had a lot of boxes every Saturday or Sunday before the recycler would come. And she had 2 recycling bins. So I would go over there on Sunday afternoon, and I would take one of my little Max packs, right? full of different knives because I wanted to test out different edges. And it was just a great way for me, who doesn't know testing an edge. I know if it's going to hold up, if I have to go home and sharpen it, or if I have to go home and strop it, or where it took. But it was just my way to really play. And that's how I really play with my steels. And I can feel and hear the difference of it going through paper. When I sharpen it, I can feel the difference. And I get little bits of joy off doing that. And people are like, John, you're taking steel off your knife when you sharpen it. Well, I'm not sharpening it over and over, but I do like to sharpen it a couple of times. And I do like to just feel the steel.
Well, a lot of times Gerald's proven that Outpost 76. You got to sharpen a lot of these knives 4 or 5 times just to get to the good steel.
But my point is,
so you sharpen
would I ever know if I got to the good steel cutting paper and cutting cardboard, which is the extent of my using my shit?
Well, you're using it the way you want to. I mean, you ain't got to go dig trenches with your freaking Gerber pear frame to use your shit. I mean, you use it how you want to. That whole use your shit. I mean, don't be if you have the knife, don't be hesitant to use it if you're in a situation where you need it. But I don't go around making up shit to cut. I mean, and I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. I'm saying that if that's the way you enjoy using your knife.
Oh, dude, I sit with an empty Amazon box at my feet. And one of the greatest pieces of mail besides a package is when my coupon book comes every couple of weeks, because I'll take that thing and I will shred it just like my phone book.
Yeah.
And I'll just sit there over an Amazon box while I'm watching your guys' streams, and I'll just cut paper.
And if that's the way you want to use your knife, it's okay.
No well, I use them when I'm out and about, but it's usually cutting boxes. You know, I'm not, when I go out in the woods, I'll use it a little more hard, right? But I'm just, I guess, blessed to not be in hard situations right now, today.
Yeah.
That could all change.
And, I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, when I worked on a farm, yes, I used my knife for harder stuff. When I was in the military, I used it for even harder stuff still. But, I mean, still 99% of it was cutting paper and straps and zip ties and, you know, little crap like that. It wasn't, you know, nothing dramatic. And that's, if I'm going to go out in the woods and think I'm going to be doing something bushcrafty, I'm going to grab a bushcrafty knife, and it's going to be a fixed blade. You know, I'll have a pocket knife as a backup, but I'm going to have a regular knife, you know, fixed blade knife as a primary. Because if I need to use my shit, I'm going to use the right shit.
Yeah, for the right task. Let's give G-Ball some love. G-Ball, I cannot believe you have already crossed 1,500. Dude, you have hit something that is resonating. You're putting out a ton of content. You're working your ass off. I know you're taking pointers from Jared, and I think that's great. And congratulations, man. That is awesome. Keep it up, brother. When I saw that he crossed 15, he crossed 1,000 last week.
Damn.
Last week, he crossed 1,000. And he's already picked up 500, like literally in 7 days, 6 days.
That's good. Sunday,
it was he was already, because Tri-State was going to boost him, or somebody was going to throw some love over there, and realized he crossed 1,000. And he's just on a roll. I mean, that's huge.
I mean, it's hard. When you get past the folks that you see in here all the time, you know, whatever, just say 100, 150 people that you see like every time. Once you get past that initial group, what you call the family or the tribe, those of us that see each other like every day and every live, once you get past that group that, you know, you would mention in your live, it's hard to draw. And so he's doing something right for Amazon's algorithm to put him out there. And then for people, you know, to even have the opportunity to like.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And G-Ball, I don't think you're using a ton of shorts, are you? Or are you? Because I've been using shorts, and every now and then I'll have one hit, and I'll pick up 30 subscribers off of that. off of a short that goes over 1,000. But I just need my view hours, and they'll come. Plus, I'm doing it just to do it, to categorize my shit in case I have to turn it all over to my insurance agent or I would say divorce attorney, but I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Don't worry, John. When you kick the bucket, you got some friends here local that'll be happy to take care of your knife collection.
Well, let me tell you something. I was meeting with brother A to Z EDC, and since I've got a roommate, should I kick the bucket? I've given A to Z EDC, and I can call him off one box, but I don't think that the person that I love that lives with me should be able to walk away with 4 boxes, right?
Yeah.
So there are 2 boxes. There's the tan box, which is not, you would want the black box that has a Hinderer sticker on it because that's all American stuff. That's the Hinderers, that's the Medfords, that's the TRMs, that's the Benchmades, that's your box.
Okay.
And then A to Z's box is the tan box, which is all the Riot stuff and the good stuff. But it's, I think you'd appreciate the American stuff. And then GP can have the black box, the orange box, and then the crazy overflow behind my door that's now turned into a fixed blade repository, which is, I've got a video coming up. Probably, I don't think I have any more fixed blades coming in. Yes, I do, actually. That I should have by the middle of next week from Jason Grant and custom. That's just unbelievable.
Did you say the Coke tools I tagged you in?
Huh?
Did you say the Coke tools I tagged you in?
Yes. But see, I don't want to get deeper in the rabbit hole because what I was going to say is when I get that knife in, I'm going to do my EDC collection to date video with my small EDC because I think it was about a month and a half ago when I did the first video about I'm thinking about carrying an EDC knife. This is a fixed blade. I've never done that before. Let's see how this goes, right? Now it's not only changed the way that I carry knives because I carry a fixed blade, at least one in my left pocket every day. Probably on my belt, I've got a small one too. And I'm telling you guys that MKM Micro 1 or Micro 2, they're still available at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. They're still available at White Mountain Knives. They're under $100. They're M390. They come with an awesome leather little sheath that you can just drop in your pocket, or you can put it in your pocket and use the magnetic clasp as a loop. I just think they're great knives, and I would gobble them up while they're still out there. I can't recommend them enough. It's this knife right here. And this is a micarta. The ones I've got, because I've got the macros and the micro. I got the micro 1. Here's Edgy American, and he's shirtless. That's one of the conditions I said. I got the micro 1. Oh, I thought you were shirtless. You got your,
no. I have
titty.
on the Hello Titty shirt.
I'm wearing Lefty wrapped my knife and my stuff that I ordered from him in a Thrasher's garage. It's too big for me, and it was evidently too small for Lefty, but I figured I'd let it swallow me up. But Lefty, who's the man of the hour, hooked me up with the Combat Beads G10 driver that I did not need, but the other chickadee that I'm carrying today, that Kyle Coonley, Koonlee, put an edge on. And that's the Cutlery Shop edition. And I don't know if y'all have been following Jacob Creates his, and this one's actually a 3/4 inch or a 3/4 flat. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Whereas my S90V is a full flat.
I've been carrying past couple of days my S110 Manix, and the only reason why you can see all the residue on it where I've been using it is because ever since I did a good stropping on it with that 9 micron diamond spray from Lacey, I just absolutely love the way this thing cuts now. It's like I've fallen in love with it all over again.
Jared's the one, when I first went to the Gunny juice, he said go with the 6 micron. And I put it on a fresh strop, and I've never gone back. I've got it on. It's just perfect for the way I like to finish a knife.
Yeah. I probably like the Gunny juice just as much. I've just got the 1 micron. But.
Well, I'm just saying with I'd like to try Lacey's, but I think for me that 6 micron just seems to be just about right.
Yeah.
How have you been, Shane?
I've been good. Yeah, Friday seemed like it's been hard for me to jump on because, it's payday and, we've always got things to do when she gets home from work. But
well, that's when you get your fresh batch of fentanyl. So you're usually knotted out by
right
this time.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable in your chair?
Absolutely, man. It's so much better.
Good.
So much better.
Good.
Way more than I would have ever purchased for myself. I'll put it that way.
And how many of the hemorrhoids have you used? The suppositories? You used them all the first night, didn't you?
I haven't got around to using those yet. I actually don't have hemorrhoids. It's just the fact that I don't have a butt. So when I sit on something hard, it's just bone on metal. Yeah.
Well, I think part of the plan was that you needed to insert one before you sat in the chair till they were gone. It was like use until gone. It was kind of like
how many views do you think I could get if I filmed and made it educational how to insert a Preparation 8 suppository?
How?
How many views?
I've not used a Preparation H one, but in the old days when I was a wrestler, I had to use a few laxative suppositories. It's basically like a little grease missile.
Right.
And it's a cheek picture. And then
one of those situations where when you put it in, you're like, I may have enjoyed that too much.
What did you wrestle, John? Chihuahuas?
Yeah, what weight class did you wrestle in?
And I'm telling you, I was a badass in high school. I was a state ranked 98 pounds my freshman year, 105 my sophomore, 112 my junior year, and my best year I was 119 my senior year. And right now I probably weigh about 120. I'm at my graduation weight.
Now, Dark Gravity, we laugh at him, but we forget he's going to live to be 102, and we ain't.
That's true.
Yeah.
I skateboard 15 miles a week. Man, I'm on top of it. If I don't get hit by a car, and again, if something happens like I die tomorrow, y'all need to gather around and grab some knives. Shane, I don't know if you were in on the conversation. We were talking about.
I heard that you didn't even include me on the Shane gets a box. That's all right.
Okay, Shane gets a box. You just need to come up and claim. When you tell me which one you want, and I'll put it in my little write-up.
Yeah.
Hey, Shane, we'll split the American box.
All right, that works for me.
As long as y'all work together as a little family, like I know we would if we were passing out my knives at St. Nick's.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, the passion for wanting a new knife has not dwindled at all. I still really want that enough too in K390, man. I don't know why. I can't stop thinking about that knife.
Which one?
That Spyderco fixed blade, the Enough 2. It's a 4-inch blade, K390. It's really thin. I get that. I want to ship it straight to Mr. Bill and get some micarta put on it, and I think that'll cover 99% of my fixed blade wants and needs.
For now.
And I'll still trade you something for that Bradford if you're not liking it, but it sounds like it's starting to grow on you.
It's not. That's not it at all, John. Like I said, I always be really careful about it because that is an excellent knife. It just doesn't fit somebody my size. And I may very well do that, but I had promised Bettina I'd let him check it out first. So.
Oh, definitely. No, hey, no worries. And that's the last thing I need. It's just one of those things that if you need something to happen with it, let me know.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
But if not, definitely send it to Bettina.
I'm waiting on him to shoot me his address so I can ship it out there. Let him check it out.
But I can recommend this regardless of what your hand size is.
I held that. Remember, I like that. That actually works better in my hand than the Bradford.
And it is less than $100.
Yeah.
M390, full tank.
Yeah. Well, you know how I am about M390. If it ain't 62 or higher, I don't want it.
But all you're going to do with this is cut boxes or string.
I got you. Yeah, I've got I've got knives that I'm confident won't cut forever, and I still love them. You know.
I love when Dark Gravity leaves and puts everybody in a seizure because he leaves his ceiling fan vision on. I know there's just somebody out there going like this.
Yeah. You know, it's weird. Ever since that weird thing happened with my computer, every time I turn it on, the camera's different. Like it's aimed different, or last night it was like super zoomed in, and it's been weird.
Do you use a webcam or do you use your phone?
Well, no, I've got a desktop with a built-in camera, and right now it's running off of it. But I purchased a separate webcam that I can aim a lot easier, but I'm scared to switch to it because sometimes when I do, it acts crazy about which mic it wants to use. I'm sure you remember the microphone difficulties I had one night. But
your difficulties are entertainment, Shane. Never beat yourself up for your lack. You're learning as you go. And I don't think Jared's in here, but he learned as he went.
Oh, yeah.
And he bumped his head and he got frustrated and he figured it out. And that's the best way to learn, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't ever apologize for those shortcomings. We all screw up.
G-Ball, I'm trying to read the chat, but I'm horrible at it. But I see you there calling us old, but that's all right. Yeah.
All right, I need to get to – well, see, it's hard when you've got people up here, G-Ball, because you want to talk amongst yourselves and hope that it's – I need to get more in the chat. Shane loves 8CR13 MOV.
Blazeberger, I don't have a problem with HCR13 MOV for $20 or less. I mean, it's a serviceable steel. I just don't feel like it should be more than $20.
Patina, I was just going to take it off his hands if he didn't want – I mean, look at it, hang out with it, love on it. You're in my group, brother. You should have one, but I'm going to send it to you right now if I can find my phone. Y'all talk amongst yourselves while I look for my phone.
Yeah. Did you get the Rex 45 on that Bradford tested, or how does it feel sharpening? Or
it felt great. I did not get it tested. I will say it didn't feel quite as responsive on a stone as the Spyderco Rex 45. I touched up, but it felt good. But that Spyderco Rex 45 feels like it's shaving the top of your stone off. You know what I mean? It's just, but it still feels good.
I wouldn't expect it to be that.
Yeah, but that's also a different use knife, kind of, you know. So
it's meant to stab people.
Right.
G-Ball. Link sent, brother.
Oh.
I just DM'd it to you.
A lot of people don't realize that the Bradford Guardian's meant just to stab people.
Right.
It's a backup to your pistol.
You're exactly right, and that's why I don't like it. Not that I dislike that use. I don't trust at all that if I stab somebody with this, I'm not going to ride an inch up on that blade and cut the shit out of myself.
Your thumb doesn't keep. I mean, you don't feel like you're locked in.
I guess it could. It just you'd almost have to have a camera inside my hand. It's not landing anywhere. Does that make any sense? Like it's not snugged up to anything. Everything's just wrong. But you got to remember, I got big fat.
You got huge hands. I mean, you got Peter hands.
Like I can't comfortably hold a Glock. I have huge hands, but when I close them, there's not much room in there because they're kind of fat and padded. And,
you need the 4-inch probably.
Yeah, this just don't work for me. And I'll buy 4-inch. I want to give them another shot. I just bought the wrong size for me. That's all.
Yeah.
Take your time, brother.
Yeah. I mean, because of course I've stood next to you. I think the 4-inch or the 5-inch would fit your category better than the 3-inch. Yeah. I mean,
I didn't know Jared was in here. How you doing, buddy? Jared, you see my T-shirt they sent me?
That is suggested, Jared, that you
LOT.
don't stab yourself.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Next time, stab somebody else.
Oh, we held back
Yeah.
because we didn't know at what point we were crossing the line, and we were like, "No, we don't want to go that hard."
I do got a little announcement to make. I have somewhere I have to be Sunday night, so I won't be live at least at normal time Sunday. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I need to figure it out pretty quick.
JuhVon will jump in that spot. He needs the view hours.
There you go. Vince was really wanting to come on because he missed last week.
I'd love for him to join, but I know you want to do that.
I mean, between tonight and tomorrow, those schedules are pretty full, and I don't want to go live on top of somebody else. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Go live when you want to go live, Shane. Do you? You're going to always be courteous. I mean,
right. Well, I mean, let's all face it too. We want to go live at an opportune time when we think people will show up. Not everybody can be Backpack B. He was on till 5 a.m. this morning.
He plans for that now. I mean, I used to worry about him not ever sleeping because I know he goes through stages where he gets busy and he wants to work. I'm kind of wired the same way.
Yeah.
But he's planning out his late nights, his owl crew, and I think that allows him to be engaged because he sleeps during the day for that whole time, right?
Right.
That's his time to shine.
Hey, did you guys see OCD for EDC's interview with Tim Reeve at SHOT Show?
No.
And it's so funny. It's not going to be as funny to y'all as it is me because Super Still Steve and I had a conversation about how awesome it would be if he showed up at Blade Show and Eric Glesser had on a T-shirt that said 15V, fuck Super Still Steve. Well, at the end of Tim Reeve's interview, just out of the blue, right at the end of the interview, he leans into the camera and goes, and oh yeah, fuck Steve Kalari. And dude, I literally spit out my drink when he did it. It was hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, because they hadn't even brought up Steve. It wasn't even part of the conversation. Just right then, he added it.
I guarantee you, Justin prompted that.
There ain't no telling, but yeah.
Hey,
we were talking about that, because Steve, a lot of people don't remember this. About 3 years ago, Steve showed up at Blade Show with a fuck Spyderco shirt on. Yeah. And he did that because Spyderco's heat treats were subpar. And he doesn't get enough credit for the fact that him showing his ass and kind of making him look bad. I'm not saying it did, but it probably had some influence on them stepping up their heat treat.
Well, they listened to the community, and he was a big part of what got the community involved.
Especially when you got somebody that loud hanging out right in front of your booth, preaching about your shitty heat treats. So that would have been hilarious if
and preaching with facts. It wasn't just soundboarding. It was actually.
No, he wasn't just being an asshole. He just wanted it to be better. And in my opinion, we all kind of owe the guy a little bit, even if he is an asshole. But it just goes back to show that sometimes we're not just being assholes to be assholes. We want to be heard, and we want people to do better. Like Jared's video that he posted up today about him begging American knife manufacturers to do better. The more you guys that see that and comment and like it and share it, and the more views it gets, hopefully somebody, at least one of those companies will see it and be like, hey, we're going to lose these people,
and have a little humility when they view it and reach out and thank Jared and move forward with the community.
Exactly.
Well, exactly. And the thing is another thing that you can do, because we did that. I wasn't nothing like Steve was, but I was one of the people sending emails to these knife companies during that time. They don't read your DMs on Instagram. They don't read the shit at the bottom that you post, your comments on Instagram. But if they're inundated by the knife community with dozens and dozens or hundreds of emails, and they notice that the what it's in regards to at the top says shitty heat treat or poor heat treat or soft steel or something like that, they'll notice the pattern. Right. And if they're getting dozens or hundreds of emails saying, hey, we want something better, You know, why are you doing this with this steel? Why are you doing that? That's like that new. I think it was you, Shane, that said that new Microtech's going to be like $250.
Yeah.
And I had told John that I was interested in it, that the price was right. I was scared it's going to be like $4.
Yeah.
But I mean, that knife looks like it's got a hollow grind. It's not a sharpened pry bar. And that M390, if they're going to make a sharp knife, if they're going to make a cutting knife, it needs to be treated right.
Right.
And
Yeah,
didn't you say
just at least 61? I'm not even asking for over the top, but at least 61. But I've heard they're saying 58 to 6. I'm not buying it if there's a chance of it being at 58. And let me say something else, John. This message you got up here, I know there are going to be trolls that are going to say Jared's just saying this because he wants more views. Well, first of all, of course Jared wants more views, but he doesn't necessarily need them. This isn't about getting Jared more views, guys. This is an opportunity for everybody in the community to get behind a message.
I just posted the link.
Yeah.
I posted the link to the video for y'all to share. If y'all haven't seen it, bookmark it.
It don't matter if anybody sees it when you share it. Just the more it's out there, the better a chance of Benchmade or Hogue or anybody seeing that. And because I was in my head was defending them, thinking, well, maybe they're a couple years behind, because they've got to use up what they've got, or
there's springs for assisted locks. Fuck that.
Think about this, guys. Tim Reeve ordered metric tons of S45VN and then sat on it overnight and started running Magnacut at the HRC that we wanted. He did that instantaneously. As soon as he realized that's what we wanted, he didn't make 5,000 more knives in something else and say, well, we'll do it when this is over. No, he did it instant. Every single knife manufacturer can do it if they decide to.
But Tim Reeve actually communicates and talks to the community.
Right.
I can't remember her name, and I feel guilty now. The lady with TRM. She goes to every knife show.
Yeah.
Hillary?
Yeah, Hillary. I mean,
not Marianne.
Marianne, whoever the owner is.
Oh, man, help her.
Yeah, she goes to every knife show that they do and talks to the community and listens.
Yeah.
She comments on every one of my Instagram posts.
Every time I tag her. If you could have a maker that does that,
I'll say this, guys. I'll go as far as say this. If you don't at least comment on that video, like it, share it, do everything you can do to get Jared's message out there, then in my opinion, you have no further right to complain. You know what I'm saying? You have no right. If you don't get behind this and help share it, then you just need to settle for whatever garbage they're putting out, because there's an opportunity right now to get our voice heard. We can all be Steve with a Spyderco Suck shirt on all at the same time. If we just get behind that message and share it. Hey, hell, copy the link, put it in email.
And let me tell you something, guys.
Get 1,000 of them, 5,000 of them, they'll eventually listen.
Jared is one of the most swagger-driven, polished spokespeople we could ever hope for. To deliver a message like that, to take the time to make that video, I think the least we should do is get behind it and share it. Share it out.
Yeah.
Tell people about it like we've already been doing, because I think it moves everybody that watches it.
Yeah.
And I know the right knife companies are going to be pissed, and the right knife companies are going to be receptive.
Yeah.
And then the pissed companies will eventually come around because they're going to see the writing on the wall because Jared laid it out for them.
Yeah.
But I can tell you with some companies, all they care about is their contracts. They don't care about the community because the contracts pay a whole lot more.
Are you talking about the Benchmades, or does that go deeper?
Well, there's other companies that have contracts besides Benchmade. Benchmade's just the biggest.
Like M3 Tactical?
I don't know if M3 Tactical has contracts or not. But I know Ernest Emerson does. I know Zero Tolerance has. I don't know if they still do because they still make one of their oldest models. And so I'm assuming they still have contracts with the government to still be making a model that's 20-something years old. But I mean, some of those companies, Zero Tolerance obviously does not give two flying fucks what we think with the shit they've put out the last
From
couple
what
few
I've heard,
years.
Dark Gravity Zero Tolerance wasn't very profitable. So Kai just kind of decided not to put as
That
much
would be,
into Zero Tolerance because the profit wasn't as high as those blister pack cheap ass knives at
oh yeah.
Walmart.
Well, yeah,
And I get that, but
you're talking about a $3 to $4 knife that you're selling for 30, so you're
right.
making, versus a $200 knife you're selling for $3.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right.
Jerry and I had a very good conversation about that. We got to talking about blade steel because we were talking about the Rat One being $130 for S35. So he looked it up to see what you could buy an 18-inch stick of S35 in and an 18-inch stick of OS 8. It was a $10 difference in an 18-inch stick. Well, you can make 4 knives out of that. If you wire EDM it, line it all up right, you probably get 5 blades out of it. But so that's the point is. It come out to $4 or $5 a blade. When if you guys really knew what it cost material wise to produce a knife, and even labor wise, once you look at mass production, guys, these things don't cost that much to make. Now that doesn't mean I have a problem paying top dollar for one. I will. I don't care if it only costs the company $50 and they're charging me $250 if it's what I want. But
well, you got
an extra couple of bucks to make it worthwhile.
Some of it you may have just the basis of $50 to manufacture the knife, but you do have some behind the scenes costs like the CAD development, the design development,
marketing, the packaging, all that cost.
Packaging and all that stuff. But like I know what one dealer, what they pay for Spyderco knives, versus what they sell them for. And they buy direct from Spyderco, and basically they pay 50% of MAP price. So if it's a $150 knife, MAP, like your Mannix, well, I think yours is more because it's S110B, but like a Mannix is $150.
Yeah.
I think it's 130, but still it's side point. They paid $75 for that knife from Spyderco.
Hold that thought. Yeah, that is called the patience of Job that Marianne also has to work that out with Erica. I would have told her to go fuck herself, but go ahead. Sorry about that.
I agree with you.
Go ahead.
But I would assume with your larger dealers, it would be even lower cost. Like Smoky Mountain, Blade HQ, I would think would pay less because the retailer I'm talking about is nowhere near the level of a Blade HQ or a Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So the profit margin for those, a lot of the profit really goes to the dealer, not to the manufacturer, because the manufacturer has all the cost in it. The dealer just takes whatever it is, doubles the price, and has nothing behind it. They have nothing in it other than buying it. It's sitting on it. So your dealers are the ones who really make all the profits off the money.
That's why I like to buy directly from the manufacturer if I can.
If y'all ever consider breaking in and taking my knives, all I got to say is give it your best shot.
Yeah, I will. I'll come in with one of my jerky treats, and that big boy will love me just like he loves you, and he will help me carry him out. We will be such good friends by the time I leave with your shit.
Yeah.
I'll take him with me.
This is the greatest human being I know on the entire.
Oh, I know. I can tell.
Yeah. I bring you the Whataburger. He'd be all right.
Yeah, he'd come with me, and he'd like within like 30 minutes, he'd be like, "We're good." How are you, G-Ball?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good, man. Trying to get this. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday, man. I'm trying to get this microphone. I got a new microphone. I'm trying to get it working, dude.
Sounds good. Whatever you're using now.
That house hippo was waiting on me when I got back from Blade Show last year.
It's this blue Eddie Logitech camera.
And you plug it into your USB.
Yeah, it's USB, USB-C. You know what I'm saying? Like you can plug it into one of these guys, and then you can plug it into either a USB or a USB-C.
I got you. I don't know if you got YouTube on behind you, but I hear myself echoing.
Oh shit! Hang on.
I had to mute my TV.
Yeah, I got an echo.
It's gonna go away.
Jared, that's the dog that I messaged you about. She's still perfect, man. She's been the best animal. Except for the fact that she has to sleep in bed with me. Jared was like, well, you need to make sure she knows she can only do that when you allow her. But if that's the only downside to her, I'll put up with it.
Crispy Critter, that's what I look forward to at the end of this live stream. This is where I go before. All right, G-Ball. I muted G-Ball. Do we still hear me echoing?
No.
All right, I'm going to unmute him.
It's weird. It's causing everybody to echo.
He's got something playing.
I'm just going to stick with using my phone because all this other shit seems too complicated.
No, it doesn't get too complicated because we can.
Well,
let me unmute him.
You're right, though. That is the simplest way to do it. You never
How about now? Or are you guys hearing yourselves through my mic? I wonder.
Let me hear. I still hear a little bit.
Yeah, still echoing.
It's coming through your mic. It's double feeding.
Yeah.
Do you have any open tabs?
Do you have YouTube playing in the background? I do that all the time, so I know what causes it in my experience. Or I'll have my Apple TV playing and I didn't mute it. Let me unmute you and see if we're better. Chicka Chicka Slim Shady, hotter than a set of twin babies. In the Mercedes Benz with the windows up and the tint goes up to the mid 80s. I'm not hearing it anymore, G-Ball.
Yeah, I think you got it.
I think it's good, unless you're just totally. Can you hear?
G-Ball. He may not have turned his earbuds on yet.
They're probably connecting.
Did you guys see Michael Morgan's comment when he said that something about listening to G-Ball and 2X?
Let me find it.
Hey, let me tell you this. Go back to some of G-Ball's earlier videos on YouTube and change the replay speed to 1.5, and it's fucking perfect. It doesn't sound like the Chipmunks. It doesn't sound sped up, but it has gotten better. But dude, that's so funny.
Did y'all see Tri-State's little reel that he did today with his squeaky voice? And I can't remember if he down squeaked it or up squeaked it.
I didn't.
Saying that he now has membership turned on Instagram, so you can go support him there too.
What? They have memberships on Instagram?
Yeah, he just got over 10K. So if you want to help out the Stash Crew, you can go over there and drop cash to him.
Yeah. Is G-Ball still with us? I mean,
yeah, G-Ball, I don't have him muted. We're just trying to get him up and running. We're making progress.
Yeah, the echo's gone, but he hasn't spoke since.
It may be like the noise canceling on his mic. Those Yeti mics are badass. I know they've got a lot of settings and they've got their own app.
Hey, how many of you guys are reminded of Kyle from DTOM when we watched Dark Gravity sit out on his porch and smoke?
I miss old Kyle.
Yeah, that makes sense because they're both y'all from the same town or pretty close, aren't you?
Yeah, well,
close to Athens.
He lives in Hazel Green.
Hazel Green, yeah.
Which is north. My son lives in Hazel Green. They actually used to live about a mile apart.
Yeah.
You still talk to him from time to time, don't you?
I hadn't talked to him since October or November.
We need to check in on him, see what's up. I'd love to see him at St. Nick's.
See, he's not even into knives at all anymore.
Oh, I know.
I don't know what happened, what changed, or what.
I really thought it was going to be because of. I thought he was just fed up with YouTube and their rhetoric and their agenda pushing. I thought that's why he got out.
I think that was the catalyst.
Yeah.
But the thing is he sold all of his knives too.
Right.
I think he kept one or two. I mean, I could get fed up with YouTube and walk away, and I have done it before with the knife YouTube and the Facebook groups. I mean, I don't even have Facebook at all anymore, but I used to be a part of a bunch of knife groups. 15 years ago.
I solely keep Facebook to keep in touch with family members that don't get to see that often. I'd like to anybody that tags me or says something to me in Facebook. It may be weeks before I see it. I pre-apologize for that. I just don't have any interest in Facebook anymore. But I'm on Instagram every day.
I'm never on. Yeah, I'm always on Instagram, but Facebook, I try not to go anymore. Have y'all ever seen this stuff? Wicked Wax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We met the guy at the Nashville Knife Show, and he donated some for Knives Live. And I did a video the other day where I talked about knife rights, like I was like part of knife rights when I was meaning to say Knives Live, and I don't edit my videos, so I said fuck it. They'll know what I meant.
Everybody went to a buffing circle, so I'm sure I'm about to lock up or shut off.
I can see you just fine, Shane.
I can't see any of this. Usually when this happens, I'm about to shut off for a second.
Yeah, you just probably. But
let's all do a big push on that video of Jared's. Let's see what we can do as a kind of a little tribe here to get that thing out, to share it on Instagram, to share it on across as many platforms as we can. Put it on Reddit. Let's get people to talk about him like they did MC. Because then you know you're being reached. You're reaching the masses. When they start hating, when the haters start hating, you know you're making progress. Here comes Edgy.
A lot of folks
start hating, you know you're making progress.
I don't know why my StreamYard does that, man.
Chicka, chicka, chicka.
I can still hear the echo.
Yeah, me too.
But it may have been mine. I turned the TV on so I could hear y'all while I was waiting.
I think you're good.
Yeah, I was going to say it stopped now. But, I mean, some people have the attitude of just be happy you get to buy the knife. And, I mean, if I'm going to give my hard-earned money, I want the best I could possibly get with whatever dollar point, whatever price point I'm spending.
You're right.
If I'm spending $300 and I'm paying extra because like Shane was talking about earlier, I know the price of manufacturing. I know the prices of steel. Roughly know the prices because I've worked in those industries for most of my adult life. And
you currently work in that industry.
Yeah, and currently work in it. And if people knew they wouldn't pay a premium for M390 if they're not getting the premium that steel offers.
We don't put up with it in any other products, Dark Gravity.
Exactly.
We don't put up with it in firearms. We don't pay $500 for a pair of boots that fall apart in 6 months. Yep. We don't put up with it in our vehicles. But for some reason, if a knife is pretty enough and the detent's good enough, we're okay with the fact that the steel's not probably. I'll never understand it.
Some of that though, and this is just a guess. I don't know 100% because I'm not inside their head. But having been in the community and having worked in the steel industry for so long, if you look at and I don't know the new because I'd have to pull it up to look, but the old Udahome and old CPM Crucible specs for heat treating 20 CV M390 has it heat treated to 61. I mean,
but were those heat treat protocols written when M390 was created to cut plastics in a production plant? And that's what it's meant to do.
That's the thing is you're right, but it's not a knife steel. We have took it and made it a knife steel. Or the knife.
And that's why I think if you're going to make a non-knife steel, a knife steel, then you need to research and adjust that heat treat.
I agree, but I think what the makers, I'm just saying that's what I think the knife makers did is they just looked at the heat treat protocol that Udahome put out originally, which was for cutting plastics, and just ran with that and have run with it for 20 years now.
Right, and keep in mind that toughness was super important. You're talking about making a tooling out of M390 that had to cut 50,000 pieces of plastic a day for months and months and months and months before it went back into the machine shop to be, resharpened or re-edged, whatever. It was just a different use. It's just like, I know you're a Hinderer fan, and so am I. I don't own one, so I have the money right now, but we have to accept the fact that knife and that steel was intended for a slightly different use than the super thin K390 on a Spyderco.
Oh yeah,
I agree with you, brand new American.
But you will also agree that if Hinderer made a thin geometry slicer and a high HRC, they'd be triple price on eBay the next day.
If they do have a slim XM18 slim or whatever, I think it's what they call it.
Yeah.
With a slicer grind. And to me, that one should be heat treated at a higher Rockwell.
Right.
Because you're making a different tool.
Right.
You're making a tool that's not meant to go pry open something.
But in all fairness, the 20 CV on a TRM Atom is not that high. Maybe in some cases, I guess from knife to knife, it may even be almost the same as Hinderer.
It eats my Amazon packages.
But the geometry is set up as such that as well as I do, that knife will cut even after the sharp edge is gone.
Yeah,
I left my Atom with A to Z EDC because now that it's come out in titanium, I think he's ready to make the plunge. Ooh, is that the old guard?
G-Ball, I hate you.
G-Ball, can you talk? That's the old guard, isn't it?
He can show pretty knives.
I bet he's hearing himself, but don't know we can't hear him. Let me check my TV to see if.
That's the old guard, isn't it? He can show pretty knives.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, we heard you that time, G-Ball.
Awesome.
Is that the old guard?
Yeah, yes, sir. This is the new old guard.
I really want to handle that just to see if I can flip it because I love everything about it other than the thumb stud.
Oh, but Shane, if you're going to buy K390, you want Seki City K390.
Absolutely.
It runs, I think, about 2 or 3 points higher than US K390.
How is that possible, though? How can the guys at Seki City not tell Golden how to do it the way they're doing it?
I could see a point lower, maybe 2.
Yeah.
But when you're consistently 2 or 3 points lower, I don't know what they're doing different with their heat treat. It has to be the Austin. I can't even talk with my head stopped up. It has to be they're not running it to the max temperature, or the cryo is better, which removes the retained austenite. Or they're tempering it at a lower temperature is possible because all three can control, or all three affect the hardness. Right. The higher austenizing end of the range, because it's a range to give you the hardness. You go to the higher end, have a better quench system. I mean, what kind of oven are they using? And in Golden versus Seki City. What temperature, if it's a lot of times when they do them large scale ones, they'll use oil versus vacuum. Sometimes they'll use vacuum, and just vacuum costs more. But oil, I've never seen oil used at that temperature. It's always been vacuum quench. And so if they've got better furnaces in Japan that'll do a higher pressure quench, then that may be what's giving it that extra 2 or 3 points.
Did you see Brian's post today showing the HRC on the Pena K390? Was it like 65? I think is what it was, 64 and a half, 65. But he was super impressed, that Riot was actually, of course, Brian wants to see it. He wants to see everything 2 points higher. Regardless of what it is, he wants it 2 points higher. Mm-hmm. But he was impressed that Riot was actually turning out good K390, because historically their M390 has been very average, or in some cases below average. But yeah.
When I did heat treat, we had 3-bar, 4-bar, and then a 10-bar quench furnaces. And when we did knife blades, depending on what they were, if it was like 440C, D2, your lower end steels, we did it in the 4-bar quench because it's going to get the max hardness that it's going to get, with that lower pressure. Right. But when we did your fancier steels, like high speed steel, like M4, M2, or your fancy stainlesses like M390 or 20 CV, we did it in the 10-bar quench furnace.
Hey, I'm glad you said that. While these guys are in here, can you give a quick idiot's version of what high-speed steel is? Because in my opinion, that's very important when it comes to using it for a knife. There's a difference between just tool steel and high-speed tool steel. Right.
Tool steel is like most of your S7, D2 is a tool steel. A1 is a tool steel, A2 is a tool steel, but then your high-speed tool steels are like M4, M2, T15, T3. And the thing about high-speed tool steels is they're usually used as cutting tools for other steels.
Because the heat doesn't affect them as much.
Well, their temperature is very high. Right. Like M4, if you heat treat, I'll just use M390 at 2200 degrees, quench it. You temper it at 300 or 350 degrees to get max hardness. Right. Would be 300 degrees. If you are using high speed steel like M4, you heat treat it at the 2150 or 2200, somewhere in that, depending on how high you want it to go. Right. You quench it and then you temper it at 1000 degrees. Yeah. And so its hardness is maintained at a much higher temperature. A lot of times the reason why is high-speed tool steels have a lot of tungsten in them. And tungsten is a very dense, and you get tungsten carbides along with the vanadium carbides. But tungsten, I think the melting point for tungsten is something like 7,000 degrees, where the melting point for most other steel components is only like 2. I mean, not 2, but 3.
What that equates to is that your high-speed tool steels are going to be using like a drill bit, because once you sharpen that drill bit and you start using it, a massive amount of heat is created. If you were doing that with D2, you would exceed the temperature very quickly and destroy the heat treat. So like M4 is designed so that it can get up to 700, 800, 900 degrees while you're using it and never affect the temper. Right. That was the issue with Medford when he first started using MagnaCut. He didn't like it. He wanted to keep it at 50, at 58, 59, because his coating process, the temperature that's required to apply that coating, was higher than the temperature. So he was destroying the heat treat just by doing the coatings. That's why he was keeping the HRC lower. So finally he decided, you know what? Then fuck it. We just won't have coated MagnaCut. You have to take it plain, which everybody was fine with that.
I think his coating is 500 degrees. For that PVD coating that he does,
which instantly dropped the HRC of his MagnaCut.
Right,
because for MagnaCut, money.
For MagnaCut to be 63, 64, I would guess they're tempering somewhere between 300 and 350.
Yeah.
I don't know I know 300 is a stable temperature, so.
And I know people get bored hearing this type stuff, but I think it's important for them to hear it every now and then just to understand why that was the way it was, instead of just thinking, well, that asshole just wanted to sell us soft steel. There was reasoning behind it, and he got past it. But
the thing, see, I'm the type that I think people should learn it just because it makes them have a better understanding of what's going on in the community as far as the
knife for.
John, will you highlight Tina Turner's comment?
That kind of stuff matters because my ability to understand.
The one before that.
Yeah, I think tungsten does have the highest melting point of any metal, of any material.
Right.
Is it 6,000? I knew it was some.
Is that the one, Shane?
Crazy.
Yeah. And I know that seems unimportant to knife collecting, but knowing things like that are very important to know what you're getting and why it performs the way it does, or why it doesn't perform the way it should.
And it's just knowing more than just being a crow and that's shiny. Right. And I'm guilty of that too. That new Microtech that's got my curiosity, my interest. When I saw the picture, I didn't read shit about it. I just saw the picture, and that little crow in the back of my head kicked in and said, "Ooh, shiny," and I wanted to get it. But there's another side of me that all of those things matter. Now, does that stop me from buying knives? No, because I still, I may disagree with some of the things that they've done. Like I didn't agree with the way Rick Hinder handled Brian, but I will probably buy another Hinderer down the road. I didn't agree with the shit that Strider pulled back in the day.
I bought one recently.
I've got a I don't agree with some of the stuff Benchmade has took a stand on, but I don't know if their prices and what they offer, fucking plastic and shit for everything they bring out is freaking plastic, and they want $250 for a plastic knife. I ain't gonna buy it.
I like the full size Super Freak or whatever you call it.
Yeah, the carbon fiber. Yeah, the carbon fiber Super Freak, that did look good.
Have you priced a full size Crooked River recently? S30V with stabilized wood scales is $295. Man, I love my Crooked River. I think it's an excellent knife. It's one of the smoothest action Benchmades I've ever handled. But $295 for S30 and some stabilized wood,
well, I mean, you can't argue the S30 part, Shane, because you said it earlier with the S35VM versus All Safe. Yeah. There ain't much difference in price between S30V and M390. It's $5. So, the steel is fine. It's stainless steel liners with aluminum bolster. I mean, $300. You got to give me some titanium and something besides cheap. Frost cutlery wood.
Yeah.
Or I'm so tired of carbon fiber without any titanium or anything that is inset.
Well, I mean, I don't mind. It doesn't have to be
you got your
fiber, just not frost cutlery stabilized wood. Yeah. I mean, that's the same wood. If you watch Cutlery Corner, which I do, I admit it. I'm coming out of the closet. I watch Cutlery Corner.
I watch just to see what the prices are on versus materials.
The fucking wood handles on a Crooked River is the same wood that's on them damn frost cutleries on Cutlery Corner. And you're going to charge me $300 when I can buy 10 of them for $29.95 on Cutlery Corner and get the same wood and the same stainless 420 stainless steel liner. May not be built.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to find something to give away.
G-Ball, when that honeymoon phase is over, you're going to let me check out that MBK, brother?
Yeah, I could.
I'd really like to check that out, man. I keep saying that if I buy a Chinese knife this year, it's going to be that one. Like I just want to see how easily I can open it. I know I love it. Yeah, I don't have any doubts in the steel. I know I love the way it looks and all the material. I just want to see if I struggle to open it like I struggled to open my Sabenza before I spend the money.
Does that come with the ZDP 189 also, or is it just the Warncliffe that comes with
the ZDP 189 at 67?
That one?
Yeah.
The one G-Ball's got?
Yeah. It's Sandmine.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know they did another one that's got a real sharp Warncliffe, and I can't remember the name of it. That's got the ZDP 189 Sandmine blade. I didn't know the old guard had the ZDP 180. I can see the Hamon now.
Yeah. And what G-Ball's holding in his hands and holding up the screen right there is physical proof that the knives you're ordering out of China can have quality heat treat. It's right there. He's showing it to you.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse from them.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll give Riot credit too. 64 on K390 ain't nothing to sneeze at.
I think it was close to 65 actually. Let me look while I'm sitting here because I just saw it today.
I think the Seki City is only 67. So the Spyderco Seki City.
Shane, you will have no trouble. You'll have no trouble opening this, bro. You'll have no trouble at all.
I got you. But the thing about thumb studs is they're different for me because a weaker or lack of detent is actually better for me. Only on a thumb stud knife. I don't feel that way on a flipper, but on a thumb stud knife, I either need I need a weaker detent so I can slow roll it easily. Yeah, that's 64. I'm pretty sure is what that's showing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 64. So that's not bad.
No,
because this is on washers.
Yeah.
The detent is similar to that as of like a TRM Atom.
Yeah.
Very, it's not crazy light, but I can slow roll it out without even trying to slow roll it out.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed the detent on the Vero Axon. A lot of people complain about it being too light, but because I slow rolled that knife, the Vero Axon was great for me.
Well, if you can, that's got a different cutout, but if you can do that, dude, if you've ever handled like a Neutron or an Atom,
I've got an Atom.
It's gonna be very reminiscent of that.
Petita, I apologize. I said Sanmai. I think you're correct. I think that is just jacketed. So I'm actually, to be honest, I don't know that I know the exact difference between Sanmai and jacketed, but
Sanmai is jacketed.
Huh?
Sanmai, all they do is they take a harder steel and put it inside two steels and forge weld them together. And so even if you can see the seam across the back, because they do it by the plate. They don't do it by the blade like a bladesmith does or like the traditional Japanese do.
So jacketed would be folded over.
Right.
And if it's done in a large plate, then that means it's just sandwiched. So you're actually going to have a line on the spine.
You got to watch saying that because Cold Steel may have it fucking patented. You know how or trademarked as far as terms go. You know how they are with that crap. But I believe they classify that as the Sanmai steel because it's just it's a soft steel covering a hard steel to keep the hard steel from breaking.
Yeah, you can almost see can you guys see the
line?
I can see you all.
I can see it in John's too, whatever he's showing.
You can see it more in the warning. Hold on.
Is that pretty thin, G-Ball? The geometry, is it pretty thin?
That warning is thin.
And see, it's not even matched on the warning. It's narrower on this side, but that's normal. See that?
Yeah.
And then compared to that side.
Let me go snag my calipers.
These are the greatest. These are the greatest little knives ever.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take just a second, and then we're going to get back to talking. But the giveaway knife for tonight is going to be one of my faves that I've kept in my collection. This is the Artisan Cutlery Mini fucking stab it through a car door. I forget what it's called. What's the model number of this knife?
I forget too.
I've got to find the box before I send it out because it has a little pin that you can put in right here. Even though it's got a really,
I forgot what it's called too.
I'll find out. It's called the
proponent.
Proponent.
The what? Proponent, the mini proponent.
Yeah, that's a fun knife.
It is a great knife, guys. And I mean, for a reverse flick, I will say it's a little light on the detent. So if you're going to use the flipper tab, the light switch is not the way to go, but the finger push button is. However, I don't ever use the flipper tab. If I had my way, I'd cut it off. I reverse flick it off the studs. Good God.
That behind the edge, G-Ball? Was that behind the edge?
Yeah, I'd say probably between 10 and 12 thousandths.
Oh, that's excellent, man.
But you guys are going to have to pay attention to the hashtag that we're going to put in there for our giveaway because it's pretty specific and it's got a lot of letters. But what I want it to do is resonate with you guys and remind everybody about Jared's video that he put out today, kind of addressing USA manufacturers. And I want the hashtag to be a little bit more specific because I hope that when we all get off this live, we go watch it if you haven't watched it, but share it, talk about it, cross-platform it. We want USA manufacturers to see it. Plus, it's such a great message. And it's, like I said, and Jared mentions it, it's only coming to you guys in love. So the way he delivers it is a great, great orator for our cause.
G-Ball, that's the best designed Chinese-made knife of last year. I absolutely love the way that thing looks. But you know what I'm talking about behind the edge thickness? Ain't none of y'all got nothing on this little knife right here, Mr. Forrest S.L. Larson.
What is that?
Forrest sent it to me with a hank, and it's so thin that the slit in the plastic, I can rarely find it to get it to shut. But it's just this cheap little folding razor blade. And, I mean, I'll show you how thin it is. Watch this thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, and guys, I did a giveaway last Friday that I've still got sitting over here. Both of them are boxed up, but I've not found the original boxes yet or put the swag in with them. So don't think that I've forgotten you. And I hope to have all of these go out Monday, even the one that we're going to give away tonight. I've just got to find the box because the box for this one has the pin in it that I think you guys might want. And it's a fun night. So what we're going to do, and we won't get off here afterwards, but I'm going to go in here and I'm going to share what our hashtag's going to be that I want y'all to put in the chat if you want to win that little, what kind of knife is it again?
Artisan proponent.
Mini proponent, yeah.
Mini proponent, yeah. What's up there, Kyle Coonley?
Kyle Coonley.
Coonley.
Did you see my slicing video today of the little chickadee?
He does let him get you can talk to it.
Can y'all see the hashtag?
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about doing a very precise giveaway hashtag.
I mean, this one's you're going to have to work for it because, again, I want it to resonate because the goal is to go do this afterwards. So the hashtag, let's do cap sensitive, share knees, go USA.
That is cap sensitive, guys.
So just copy what I've got in there.
Hey, John Pauly, I did get that to you in, but I was not able to unbox it yet.
And hey, look, if Mattis Fashion can spell it right, anybody can.
Hey, John Pauly.
Yeah, I got that to you NV4 sitting in a box out there. I'm hoping I can maybe unbox it tonight.
Humphreys McGee is going live at the Capitol Theater if y'all are fans.
Who?
Humphreys McGee.
I don't know who that is.
They're awesome.
Hey, it's Friday night. We get the said fashion that go for tonight.
Yeah, but we've got a little time before they go.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, good. I was gonna say I spent the whole time dicking off with all this bullshit.
No, you're here, buddy. All we're doing is we're just kind of going to, I want as many people to get in on this little knife as want to. And I want as many people to go watch Jared's USA plea to USA manufacturers, watch it, still comment on it, like it because it'll help the algorithm, and then share it.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
I only ask because my entire week doesn't feel right if I miss said faction. You know, I think it's medically proven that, you know, we need a certain amount of dopamine release in our brain throughout the week. And Friday night said faction, if you haven't reached that level, if you're a little short on it, man, that's the place to go because dude, I've never watched not one single Friday night that I not laugh my ass off for a couple of hours. Absolutely. It's therapy for me, man. I can't miss said faction.
I enjoy said faction too, and I'm still trying to figure out what we offer here. So I'm always open for comments after the live stream or DM me and say, John, you know, this is what I'd rather see, or do this different or do that different. I might not listen to you.
We can't make them all a comedy hour. You can't. That has to come natural. Sometimes we like to just sit around and shoot the shit too.
Well, I have people like Dark Gravity, who is more humble than most of y'all know, but has more knowledgeable than almost anybody I know when it comes to steel, heat treats, and he and Shane get into some great conversations that are well above my head, but I learn from them every day. And I feel like Shane said earlier, we might get tired of hearing about it, but I don't think any of us are tired of learning about knives if we love knives, right? So you want to know whether you choose to make that part of your buying decision or not. And that's why I hope in my little time here that I can bring people from the community together, people who have neat ideas. I was hoping Jason was going to be able to join us tonight, but I'm sure he will sometime to show off some things he's working on that are truly revolutionary. And I'm just a huge fanboy. So far we've got 23 entries.
I can't enter apparently. I don't know how to comment if I'm in the.
You've got to
That's
open.
okay though, John. I'd rather one of them win it. That's fine.
I'm still trying to recover from Shane's live the other night.
All right, guys, we've got 23 entries. I'm going to give us about 15 more seconds, even though I'm in no real rush to draw for this. But I figure I'll get somebody in here to win so I can write it down and I won't forget it.
GP and I have discussed that. The only downside to that live is that we'll never be able to top that.
Yeah, y'all will. Y'all will top it every single Sunday. And if you don't go live this Sunday, let me know, and I'll see if Grateful Panic wants to go live.
That came about completely naturally. We had planned none of that. And if you can't tell by Grateful Panic's reactions, he'd never heard any of those stories. He wasn't prepared for it either. And I wasn't prepared to tell them. So, yeah, completely unscripted. That just happened.
But that's what makes it beautiful, dude. And you helped a lot of people that night that were just looking for some type of release who needed that. Even though I found it disgusting and I actually almost puked and needed a shower afterwards. All right, guys, 5. I'm going to give y'all 10 seconds because it's got to be such a long thing. But then I'm getting ready to draw.
That's where I don't think John should be looking for people to tell him what they want to see in his live. I think he should just do whatever happens. You know, and that's one thing about John is it's going to stick with knives. I mean, because that's all he knows.
And I know very little, and I learned from you guys. Here we go.
Yeah, JuhVon, I wouldn't change not a single thing, brother.
Dwayne Letterman, the myth, the legend.
I get tagged by him at least 2 times a day trying to win stuff. So I'm glad to see Dwayne won something.
Yeah. Hey, that doesn't bother me at all, man. It makes me feel good that when people are entering these Instagram giveaways,
yeah,
they're trying to think of people to tag that my name comes to mind. So, yeah,
Dwayne tags me at least twice a day. Yeah. It seems like for something.
Yeah. And see, we're smart. We're not like JuhVon. We don't make our name so damn complicated to type out that people won't use it.
I know.
But see, if I just,
Keep in mind, guys, I started my ooh, hold on a second.
if I just type John's name, it shows up.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
I thought it was very smart that G-Ball, kind of shortened his name up some, because I will admit that used to when I wanted to tag him in the chat, typing out at G-Ball at the in-laws. If I'm not mistaken, I think there was some dashes in there or something too. It was half the time I just typed G-Ball and hope he saw it.
yeah. Well, see, that's what I do with a lot of folks because I don't know how all that tagging shit works on YouTube.
Well, see, I was doing it from my phone. I didn't realize that on the computer when you start typing their name, it'll autofill it and pull it up for you. Because I always wondered, like, how does Big Red type in so many names so fast? I didn't realize that's on your phone. You don't have that option. You got to type in every damn letter.
Yep.
Shane, I think my name's even shorter than yours is now.
It is now, yeah.
You got to admit that was pretty crafty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I just always called him G-Ball anyway.
Let me put guys, I'm sorry. I was just communicating back with Jason Grant. He's not going to be able to jump on tonight. But let me put Dwayne Letterman in here, and then I'm going to put Dwayne, how you can reach out to me just via DM on Instagram, or you can send an email to NazLive2021@gmail.com. And I'm going to put that in the – I'm sorry, guys. I'm just slow to put my shit in here so I don't forget. And this is the mini proponent, right?
What do you got there, G-Ball?
Yeah, this is the new Kaiser Escort, dude, and it's badass.
Ah.
That clutch lock
is
the shit, dude.
Congratulations, Dwayne.
Oh.
So I really wanted that Kaiser Mini Paragon. That's the first Kaiser that's really interested me in a while, just because it's so outlandish and unuseful. And
dude, I just the lines on this aluminum 20 CV stone washed. The clutch lock is clutch, dude. It's better than 95% of the crossbar locks I've experienced.
I did reach out to OCD guys. He said that he can make your Benchmade's adjustable like the clutch lock is. Now, that doesn't say that it's going to work the same. I don't know, but he said it is entirely possible that if you wanted it done, he could break the knife down and drill the adjustment holes. Because as long as you open that gap a little bit in the spring, it'd make it a little bit easier to operate. Which would some of y'all wouldn't care, but for me that would be a plus because I do struggle sometimes. And for you guys that know that Kyle Coonley bought me a Mannix ball cage upgrade kit for this Mannix XL. What a lot of people don't know is the day before I had actually ordered just the spring. I didn't order the whole ball cage. I ordered just the softer spring. And I got confused because Kyle's made it to me, but my spring didn't. And then I found out, I actually messaged Molly about it because I had paid for one.
I'm stoked for you, Dwayne.
She did ship it. My daughter had checked the mail and left it in her car. So I found it. So now I can upgrade my XL and my standard Mannix. I don't guess I can do anything about the lightweight because it's pin construction, but strangely enough, this one is a little bit easier to operate than the other two.
I'm going to say something to Lord Needham's point. I agree with you, brother. And I have loved what G-Ball's shown with the Kaisers, especially what they're doing with Elmax and fat carbon fiber. But I cannot make myself spend that kind of money on a Kaiser right now. I don't know why. And I've just done a video on my Vanguards, and I'm a Kaiser fanboy. But I had someone comment, one of my subscribers, on a video I did, just the one about the Kaisers, and mentioned one of them. And I'm going to send it to him. I want him to have it because I love the knife, but I don't carry it, right? So I think if I got a really nice Elmax drop, or what's it called, drop bear, I don't know if I'd carry it, or if and I'd be thinking, should I have put that towards something that I really want with a couple of hundred down the road. You know, it's just hard for me to, even though I want to try the LMAX, I want to try their new designs because I've always been happy with every design I have from Kaiser's just to die for.
Kyle, I appreciate that. I do enjoy this pink shirt. I even went out and bought me a pair of pink lacy panties to wear to go with it. I feel very manly wearing both of them.
JuhVon, I'm telling you right now, man. I bet if you ask Lefty, you can borrow his drop bear, but you would love the drop bear or this guy. I'm telling you.
That's the one that your video made me have more interest of when you started slicing with it.
G-Ball, do you think that's equal to or better than the Asher Spiro? Because I like the looks of the Spiro better, and I've heard how great the bar locks are on those. Do you think? I guess what I'm getting is I bought the Spiro instead. Would I be missing anything?
No. And I haven't tried the Kaiser, but I know how good Asher is.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is if you was looking at the drop bear, I would say maybe not. But the Escort is a little over 3.5 inches of blade.
Yeah.
This is like this is, you know, you're getting 1/4 inch plus on the blade and then a little more than 1/4 inch on the handle. So it's almost, I have both those knives right now and
I'm glad
they
you
both
said that
feel.
The knife doesn't look as big on screen to me as what you're describing. It looks smaller to me. You have big hands, G-Ball?
Pretty big.
Okay.
Pretty big.
That looks like a 3-inch blade to me from here.
So here's the nimble, guys.
Yeah.
So it's about the size of a shaman.
It's a good size. Like anybody with large to extra large hands, like my hands are pretty good size. I mean, this is comfortable as shit. It's almost, I was saying in my live, it's like ProTech and Benchmade had a love child almost.
How much is that knife, G-Ball?
$70, $80?
I want to say it retails for like 170, 180.
Oh, really? What's this blade steel?
It's 20 CV.
Oh, 20 CV?
Yeah. 20 CV, aluminum scales, and then I think that's just a steel deep carry clip.
No, that doesn't bother me a bit. Hey, Mike Endler's going live in 30 minutes. Friday Night Fun, guys.
And why do we care?
You need more cowbell in your life, God damn it.
The hell I do.
Cowbell ain't free. Shane.
What?
Get with the program. Cowbell ain't free.
If you guys ain't gonna stay on topic, I'm just ending this shit right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go back to that killer knife.
Yeah, y'all stop having y'all's own personal conversations in my fucking chat.
And no talking about pew-pews and no talking about anything that makes my butt hurt. Even though
I'm fucking cussing, because fucking cussing will get me demonetized. So y'all ain't allowed to fucking cuss, so don't do it.
And I care about that shit because all I'm here for is me, not you guys.
Yeah, I do this.
Don't forget that. It's all about me.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
But
I'm not about me.
what we were talking about earlier about the price of some of these American knives, it's shit like that Kaiser that he pulled out that's making it hard to buy American knives.
Oh, it is. I agree.
And you know,
my only issue is, like he said, that Kaiser's 180. I don't have as much an issue with Kaiser dominating the budget realm. Not just Kaiser, but China. I've accepted that. It starts hurting my feelings though when that knife costs as much as a Spyderco, but it hurts my feelings even more if I find out that it's better made. That's when it, and I don't mean hurts my feelings at them. It hurts my feelings that American companies are letting that happen. You know, if that Kaiser's that good,
if you think
that's
about
a
it,
problem for Benchmade. If that thing's $180, and it's just as good or better than a Benchmade, they by God need to do something about it.
Well, I mean, if you take and I mean, it's all debatable, it's all subjective, but if you take the Chavez 229, the JK, or what other Riot have I got in there? I don't. Any of the Leon Ma Field Duty that I had, I sold to A to Z. Any of the Riots that I've had, you could argue they're as good or better than the Hinderer, the Sabenza, the Strider, the Spartan, any of the Benchmades, and cost less.
They are.
I'm glad you brought that up. I want to clear something up. I know some of you guys saw my post where I had commented on Leon Ma's Instagram and took a picture of it because I knew he would delete it instantly. Well, first of all, it's kind of chicken shit to delete a comment. I would have felt much better.
Did it to me too.
I would have felt much better had he addressed the comment than delete it. But second of all, I will admit that I didn't pay any money for that pre-sale. It's none of my business. And I will admit that part of my dislike for that whole situation was that I may be one of the few, but I feel like he ripped off Fuller Fanatic. Now, did Fuller Fanatic handle it correctly? Probably not. Is Fuller Fanatic as believable because he acted a little ghetto about it? Probably not. But that's why I have an issue to begin with.
But Fuller Fanatic didn't pursue it.
This is my thing. For him to do what he did to Fuller Fanatic and steal his intellectual property.
But didn't he? That's what I'm saying. Fuller Fanatic didn't follow through. We're just hearing hearsay from two people, and I agree with you. I'm not. I'm
You're
just
right. All I'm saying, I don't have all the evidence to present. I'm just saying that for reasons, I believe Fuller Fanatic.
And I can understand that. And if you believe Fuller Fanatic, that gives more credibility to being.
Not necessarily. I just know people who were kind of inside. But I can't get any. If I had hard proof, I'd have done made a video about it. But I don't have the hard proof. But I do believe that he did the man wrong. So maybe that.
All I can say
influenced my opinion on his pre-sale taking.
Is Leon Ma has never been anything but gracious to me. He's never given me anything. He's been communicating with A to Z, who's been asking about the knife, and it's going to be coming out, I think, next week or the week after. And
nothing though. If it was supply chain issues and all the excuses that he used,
it wasn't that.
How did Kevin put out 4 or 5 knives in the same time?
There was an issue where he sent it back, and they had to redo all the plays.
Kevin did too. Kevin wasn't happy with some of that stuff, and they fixed it.
Yeah, but Leon's dealing with Riot, who puts him on the back burner probably anyway. And I know I know there's some shady stuff there maybe, but I'm just saying I'm on Team Leon, and I know that going through what Brian went through, they do. There are going to be things that happen that are out of people's control.
Right.
And the fact that they continue to communicate with their customers.
If you're doing business with a company that does that, as to be a man of honor, I feel like, then you should just pay all the money up front and have the knife made. You should take all the risk and sell it when you have it in hand.
I agree.
Leon normally does that.
Got that idea.
I took the post down because I didn't want to create any more friction because of it. But like I said, and I'm only saying all this to tell you that my prior beliefs may have led to my opinion being a little harsh about this current situation. That's why.
But I'm in the same boat. Like I have $550 out right now for the JK. As many times as Something Obscene Company has put out knives and sold out and then sell on the secondary for double the price, I shouldn't be having to shell out the money and wait 9 months. They should be coming. He has the money. He's making a ton of money each time that he should be able to do like Chavez does or like Leon Ma normally does or some of these other companies are doing. I'm tired of pre-orders. I won't pre-order a knife. I don't care if I missed out.
At the very, very least, Dark gravity, at the very least of this situation, what percentage of people do you think even give a shit about that knife anymore?
They'd forgotten. Now, when it drops, it'll be a big deal again. But a lot of folks, I couldn't even tell you what the knife looks like.
Yeah.
It looks different than the original
people
one.
I know that pre-ordered it
back.
care less at this point, and in my opinion, that's wrong. So,
but is it Leon's fault? And I agree that it's not ideal, but I don't think Leon wanted it that way, and I don't think it's his fault. I don't think he set out to drag this thing out.
I don't think so either. But let me ask you this: if this had happened, if Kevin had done a pre-sale and this happened, do you think it would have been handled differently?
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Then. Okay, then.
But there's other things at play. Kevin has more pull with the people he's working with because it's not Riot. And I do believe Riot has kind of a bully pulpit when they're dealing with new production versus somebody who sends back a batch of knives and says, redo these blades. Riot's like, okay, put those on the back burner.
How long did it take Jack Wolf to get over it?
He went to a different manufacturer.
Exactly.
Right.
But how long did it take him to rebound from it?
Not any time.
Exactly.
Right. Sometimes people have loyalty, even though it might not be returned to them. Where I know when that whole Fuller Fanatic thing was going around, and Fuller Fanatic was talking about some of the things that Leon was using against the Riot owner, which I don't know if I believe or not, but there's evidently a relationship there between the two men. So maybe Leon feels some kind of strategic partnership with Riot that he's willing to go through some of those hoops that others would just say, screw you, I'm going to pull it and go somewhere else. So I'm not disagreeing with you, Shane. You know I love you.
I know. But John, you're more than welcome to. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I just, I
won't always agree with you. You know that.
I don't expect you to. And Mimo's right. I love that comment. Shane always has one foot on his soapbox.
You're right about
stand up on it every 5 minutes. Guys, if that ever gets out of hand, I start getting on y'all's nerves because of that. Or y'all start taking it offensively.
That's why we love you,
let me know, man. I'll back
off. What's going on, Ian?
How we doing?
My only bitch is I pre-ordered that Liang Ma, and I want it to be as perfect as he can get it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have an issue with that. My issue is with how he handled updating it. For instance, EMP EDC on a weekly or bi-weekly basis updates everyone on the process of, how shit's going, what's going on, when they're supposed to be here, when they get here. He, in a year and a half, made like one post. You know what I mean?
And in his defense, Leon doesn't do a ton of posts on Instagram. He does post some stuff, food stuff, but he's also one that if you DM him either at Leon Ma Designs or just at Leon Ma and say, hey man, can you give me an update? He will update you.
Apparently he's sitting on top of it. It took him 10 seconds to delete my comment. So apparently he's watching his Instagram constantly. So
his phone bings when you comment.
I think G-Ball will understand better than I do. G-Ball, how ironic do you find it that I took a picture of my comment? You know why I took the picture? Because I knew it was going to disappear in seconds.
Well, after you said that, though, because I kind of made a snarky comment on his previous post, and I found that it's gone.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is shady. See, that's sus. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
that's pretty tactical shit.
And that's from a guy that paid him money, correct?
Yeah, right. But I'm still on Team Leon because I think he might not understand the way to deal with people. Maybe it's cultural, maybe it's arrogance, maybe it's the fact where he is or feels that he is in the design world. but I think he's a good guy, and I don't think he's going to screw or leave anybody holding the bag.
You can go to my YouTube and see where our buddy Tactical Center has attacked me in my videos and my comments. I haven't deleted any of them. You know, I've have either fired back at him or tried to have an intelligent conversation with him. But even when he's completely full of shit, I don't delete any of it. I defend myself.
I'll never delete a comment
I'm not
unless it's
saying that
racial or it's hateful or it makes other people feel bad. I find them hilarious.
This week, I still carry on intelligent conversations with the guy. I feel like sometimes he's a little bit of a troll, but then again, sometimes so am I. You know, sometimes I'm just in that mood. Somebody says the wrong thing and I comment. But
well, let me ask you this. Let's change the subject. Have you checked on our girl Erica lately? Are y'all still buddies?
Since she deleted her Instagram,
she started back though.
She hadn't deleted it.
I wasn't aware of that. I've made a couple of comments on her YouTube videos, just kind of letting her know, you know, hey, checking in on you, you know, kind of miss talking, and she hasn't replied to me at all. Now, guys, I'm not saying that as anything negative. I don't understand why, because I've only tried to be friends with her since. Maybe she just don't have time. Maybe she didn't say. I don't know, but no, I've had no conversations with her.
I was wondering because I found her content the way that she changed it when she left the knife community and then she came back, and I was just wondering if you had any contact with her throughout that. That's all I was asking.
What has she changed? What's different?
Well, for a while, she's back to Not Your Average EDC now. Yeah. But for about 2 months, she was Not Your Average Lifestyle or Not Your Average. Change the name of the channel.
Right.
What was that, Tad?
You're right. It's Not Your Average Lifestyle.
Yeah. And she was getting away from EDC stuff. She was talking about sweatshirts that she'd gotten and, you know, reviewing stuff like that and talking about dog behavioral stuff, just lifestyle stuff.
Right. My thing with Erica is, man, the decisions that she makes and the things that she's done are her business. I lashed out at her a long time ago, and I felt a little guilty about it. I think it was actually, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was somebody we know that kind of called me out on it because I was kind of accusing her of something that I was actually doing. So I just extended an olive branch to try to correct that. And, you know, I don't have to agree with everything she says or every decision she makes, but I do think it's gross that I wish I could remember the guy's name. You see him in Neves a lot. He jumps in every week and has something to say about Erica. Just so you guys know, this guy's done everything but offer every dollar he's got to Nicole for naked pics and blah, blah, blah. And it's just been
a slob.
Absolute cringy asshole. So when you see all the negative shit he's posting, it's simply because she wants nothing to do with it. I wish I could remember his name, but he's an absolute curse.
Well, just that whole story about how you reached out with love and chose debate over hate just to try to understand, and y'all became friends because y'all had so much more in common. And I forgot who you told me told you that.
Bumblebee EDC.
Was that Jason that told you that?
Is that his Bumblebee? I think his name is Jeremy, isn't it? Bumblebee EDC. He's got a channel. He's a really nice guy. Yeah, he had to actually extend the olive branch. She had me blocked on everything. Yeah.
Well, I think that's just awesome that you took the high road and it paid off, right? She accepted that. And I think that made a difference for her because I think a lot of times she's just reaching out because she needs help and love too.
Yeah. And you guys, you have to remember when you choose to live an alternate lifestyle from what we all deem as normal, you're going to be somewhat defensive because you're used to being attacked.
Understandably so.
Right. And I had to kind of to realize that too. You know, it's no different than the beginning of mine and Ian's Coates relationship. I love Ian Coates like a brother. And the first time we ever had a conversation, I pissed him off because, you know, I asked a question that could have been taken in a negative way. You know, I put my hand on the Bible and say, you know, that's not what I meant when I asked it, but it was understandable that he reacted somewhat defensive. Now, he wasn't an asshole. He just reacted somewhat defensively because he thought I was setting him up to attack him. So, we kind of have to remember that stuff too. We're not all the same.
Know where people come from and consider what their path may be and how it may be different than yours.
You can be whoever you want around me. Sam Nero, you're exactly right, Kyle. Sam Nero, that guy is a fucking douchebag.
And see, I'm unique in that I look at it as an opportunity for me to broaden my horizons and learn things I might not have, or I might have been closed off to before.
Absolutely, man. The laughs I've had with Ian and with lots of other people in this community that I wouldn't have had I not understood their reaction to things I've said and not taking that negatively. I wouldn't want to miss out on that. Not for anything in the world, man. I've got, you guys know I tend to lean a little right. I'm not hard, but I do lean a little right. But that doesn't mean I can't be best friends with somebody that leans hard left. As long as they understand that they can believe and live however they want, as long as they're willing to allow me to do the same.
And if we all sat in a room and we claimed to be from different sides of the fence, we all want the same things as basic human condition, Right. So we're so much more about us is similar than draws us apart.
Yeah, I found that it's not necessarily our wants or beliefs that divide us. It seems like when you really investigate it, it's our means to those things that are so much different. Like, I used to tell people all the time, guys, I used to post the Obama memes. They were fucking hilarious. Let's face it. There was nothing funnier than those Obama Biden memes that you used to see all the time. But however, I also will say I never heard that man give a speech that I didn't agree with everything he said.
One of the slickest people we've ever had in the position of president.
Right. I just disagreed with his path to those things, with his way of accomplishing them. So, we can all be the same way. We can all get along. Me and Kyle Coonley have completely different ideas on what the perfect female is, but we still love each other like brothers.
And now that you can pronounce his name, think how much closer y'all have gotten.
I think it was really cool that Kyle didn't get mad at me. Because for months I said his name wrong, and he didn't even try to correct me.
I am known as JuhVon because Tri-State couldn't pronounce my name in a live stream.
Yeah.
And I look at it as a badge of honor.
Right. Yeah.
Just I like
wasn't sure about your name at first either. I thought maybe your name was JuhVon in the beginning. But it is funny how it stuck.
Yeah.
People don't forget shit in this community. EDC Oz, every time he addresses me, still puts the eyeballs in the bathtub. And
well, that's what means something to me. I mean, the nines are all great, but the people are what make me want to be here. It's what makes me want to be in the lives. It's what makes me want to be part of the community and makes me care about things that are being misrepresented or people that are shilling that are, that I don't agree with. It's not that I want them to stop. It's just I don't want them to damage something that I care deeply about.
Did you see Kyle's comment?
Which one?
The fuck I did. And I corrected you in every stream, dummy. Well, apparently I missed it because I stuck with Kunal for 6 months.
Yeah, but you never read it. He did try to. That's why now when I address him in a stream, I'm Coon Lee. And that's just for you in case you're watching to try to help you remember.
And no, Josh Worth, I didn't mean Biden speeches. I meant Obama speeches. I was talking about, do you guys not remember the memes where it was Obama and Biden in the Oval Office and Obama would say something and Biden would respond he didn't understand what he was saying. They were comedy gold back in the day. I can't say the same thing about Biden. I haven't heard that man say a fucking thing that I agree with. Yeah.
Yeah, he's that's scary.
Yeah.
He's running our fucking country right now, man.
Yeah. Chad's
if I'm not
mistaken, is where I got this thing from, man. And I never thought I'd carry it as much as I do.
From manufacturer, am I an hour off? I always forget, and I never want to cut into their time because I
can't
know
remember. I'll look. Hang on.
I've been going 2 hours, and I think that they're 2 hours after me.
Let's see.
And I'm going to probably move mine up to 7:15 because fuck it, and I have more fun. And I think if I start at 7:15, that'll give us 3 hours if we want it.
Yeah. Maddie's Factions channel is the same as Kevin's for me. I get no notifications. It does not show up in my. I actually have to type his name in.
Here, I'll tell you.
Go to his channel. I'm there now, and go to his channel. But I still don't see.
I haven't got a notification for it.
I got it right here because I did get a notification for it earlier.
Oh, here we go. No, that's from 6 days ago.
Hold on.
For some reason, Lefty and Maddie's Faction both. It's like YouTube is shut.
I think it's on Sid. I think it's on Stevie's tonight.
That may be why.
Well, I still should get a notification.
Yeah, but it hadn't started. I might be an hour off. Let me see.
I was just bragging about this this super high end Riot, super
46 minutes. So we still got some time.
I do wish they'd have put a lock on this though for us. That'd be awesome.
So they go live at 11:10 Central Time.
No doubt, this thing proves. I don't know what this may be made out of aluminum foil. I don't know, but man, it cuts like hell. Have I ever told you guys why I really appreciate sharp knives? What I use them for?
Cutting shit.
No, honestly, not that much. I am extremely OCD about when I break the seal on a can of dip. If I tear this and there's little fragments of the paper and glue sticking out, I will literally search for another can and transfer the dip into it because I can't stand for that to stick out. So that's why I like a super sharp edge so that I can cut my can of grizzly cleanly. That's 100% the reasoning behind me wanting sharp knives.
Can you see that edge on that chickadee?
Makes perfect sense, Shane.
On that Magna Cut, you know who put that on there?
I'm gonna guess Kyle Coonley.
Kyle Coonley. And I did a video today just chopping from my office Post-it notes, just therapeutically. I mean, it just slices through paper like nothing else. He laid the edge back. Look at that edge. 1,000 grit.
Yeah. Kyle knows his stuff, man. I keep saying as soon as I get a little extra money, I want to get something. I want to get something from Kyle and something.
Come on up here, girl. Come on up here.
But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick a knife that maybe my Sabenza or something like that I don't use to cut a whole lot with anyway. And I'm not as concerned with it being toothy. Because I do want a mirror finished edge. I just don't want it on my everyday user. So I may get Kyle to put a nice mirrored edge on my Sabenza for me or something. Pick one for Lacey to do too. Actually, I've got two. I've got that custom David Clark that I sharpened that I'm not real happy with. They're gonna be mad when I send it to them though, because it's XHP at like 61. It's not super hard, but I mean I don't care how long that thing stays sharp. I'm not cutting anything with it.
This isn't the greatest blade steel, but this is one of the greatest EDC fixed blades.
You hold that thing in your hand, you'll know what he's talking about. That makes you want to cut shit. It'll make you look for something to cut.
Yeah, I mean, it's slicey. And I'm not a game mutilator, but I could imagine back when I used to dove hunt or when I used to trout fish.
Yeah.
I mean,
for what that knife is designed for, its intent, 1095 is a perfectly acceptable steel.
Right.
I think this is actually 14.
Is it a stainless?
Yeah, this one's 154 cm.
Okay, I didn't know top, because Tops differentially heat treats their 1095.
Usually, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not big on Essie starting to use S35VN because the 1095 that they use, yes, it's soft and so is Tops, but they're outdoor knives, and 1095 is, in my opinion, one of the best outdoor blade steels for those types of knives.
And I've got the little, is it the Canuck? Because my Essie,
I've heard that
my SE3 is in S35VN because I wanted it as an EDC knife.
Yeah, they still guaranteed it, but they made a video showing you that it will break.
Oh yeah, but I use it for more slicing packages and.
Right. Dark Gravity, did you notice on Joe X in his testing though that the Essies held up way longer than the tops did?
Yeah.
He was not happy at all with tops. Now I know he's doing shit to knives that we're never going to do, but I appreciate the fact that he's showing us the limits.
Yeah, the SE is I don't know what Rowan does, but yeah, the SE is off the charts. I mean, as far
he
as
also admitted though that the tops held an edge a little longer.
Because the tops, even though they differentially heat treat it, the edge is still hard. So you start the fracture there because their edge is hard to 60 something Rockwell, but the spine is what they keep soft. Yeah. And so you're inviting the opportunity for once it starts to crack, it's gonna break easier. Where the SE is 55 Rockwell all the way through.
Right.
And so it's gonna be more springy because it's not even close to what.
And my need for knives like that, the price point on Ontario, it works for me.
Yeah, the Ontarios are great.
$80 for the Ontario Rat 7, dude. How can you go wrong for $80?
For an outdoor knife, you can't.
No. I remember when I bought my first that Cold Steel GI Tonto. It was like the $28 one. It's still on Amazon for like $28. And I watched the video where they put the pipe on the handle and they bent that thing to nearly 90 degrees. And let it go back, and it went back to perfectly straight. In my opinion, all those knives should be able to do it. Cold Steel can do it in
Taiwan. That is part of a master bladesmith test.
Yeah. Now, I understand it's 1059. It's not going to hold an edge forever, but shit, you can sharpen it back in just a couple of minutes with a piece of sandpaper if you have to.
Essie, the Ontario, the tops, they're meant to be sharpened on a rock.
Right.
Because if you take Essie, Randall's Adventure Training, who also designed the rats for Ontario originally, they are a jungle survival school just south of where you live.
Yeah, they're about 15 minutes from me.
Right. Yeah. But they teach jungle survival skills.
Right.
So their knives are meant for survival. And
yeah, I mean, but we're not talking about survival for 3 days. He's talking about
survival for weeks.
You've been in the woods for weeks, and your knife is dull, and being able to use, objects in nature to put enough edge on it to do what you need to do. Not to cleanly cut phone book paper.
Brandon, they do. As far as I know, from what I've seen in videos and like Blade Magazine, they do all their heat treat in-house.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they used 440C, but I like 440C. It worked for a few decades.
Yeah.
And so to me, it hadn't stopped.
I'd rather have it than HCR. That's just my opinion.
I survived fine on 440C for a long time.
We all would survive fine on it right now.
Yeah.
In all honesty, we would.
And as far as outdoor blade steel, to me, it would be better than S30 or S35 or S45.
I'm really shocked that they're not using 14C more in outdoor knives. Like when you look at Blade HQ, even if forget Blade HQ because we know their charts are bullshit. But if you look at Larry and Thomas's charts, when you go to his toughness chart and you look it's odd because all the steels seem to be jumbled together, and then there are these outliers, and then you go way up to the top. There's this huge gap. Then 14C's up there in toughness. So I'm thinking 14C should be the ultimate outdoor knife steel. It's super tough. It's got mid to high edge retention. It's stainless. I would think all outdoor knives should be made out of 14C.
If you look at a lot, Bark River, Tops, Essie, what's the other one?
Ontario.
Ontario, but there's
Right.
another one that's a higher end one where the company split up and become two different knife makers or whatever. They all use American steels, A2, 3V,
Right.
440C,
That may be why they're not using the
1095.
14C.
And what it is, it would be my guess because there's a whole nother knife community over there that's into the really hard use knives. That would be just the opposite, like that. Any of your so-called razor blade knives, with the hollow grinds and all that, they wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because
Right.
they're wanting sharpened pry bars. They're wanting shit to survive the apocalypse, kind of deal. And they will. A lot of those folks take the American made a lot more serious.
Right. That's a good point.
And a lot of people in that community, if it's not, they'll take 440C over M390 any day.
Yeah.
Because for what they're wanting it for, 440C has a proven track record of reliability in that world where M390 doesn't. And so I think that's just from reading, like I said, because I've been reading Blade magazine since the 90s. And used to, I read Tactical Knives and Knives Illustrated too. And that's where I learned a lot of stuff about knives, was read just because you didn't have the internet for so long. But just reading what those guys have wrote in interviews with these manufacturers, those are things that matter to their customer base.
Brandon, I want to touch on your most recent comment, but and there's nothing at all wrong with that. I do think Topps has an edge as far as design language for sure. Topps makes some stuff that I look at that I'm like, man, I don't need that at all, but fuck, I want it bad. And keep in mind that those tests that Joe X were doing, nobody should ever be using a Topps or a K-bar, any knife, for what he was doing with it to break it. Some people think his tests are stupid. I like knowing what the outer limits are. So I mean, he was certainly abusing it to break it. So it doesn't take anything away from Topps or their quality. It just it was a fair test, and Ontario and Rat both exceeded Topps as far as if you're just absolutely abusing the knife. But I'm not taking anything away from Topps at all, though. I still love their stuff. Their designs are way better. They've got way more options.
I would guess that's the result of their heat treat difference. The differential hardening, could potentially add stress, where the others are heat treated to be spring steels,
right?
Which is going to bounce back before it's going to bend before it breaks.
Right.
Because a crooked knife is better than a broke knife. When you're in that type of
environment. Is treated at, but I want to say it's 61 or 62, the Viper knives, and it just seems perfect for what it is.
But see, LMAX is good to 63 or 64 also.
But this is lower than that.
The only reason I'm so picky about pocket knife, guys, is I'm never going to baton. I'm never going to try to survive in the wilderness with this. All I want this thing to do is cut cleanly as many times as possible before I have to sharpen it. That's the only reason why I'm so picky about heat treats on these. I understand, and I know I've listened to several of John's lives when I haven't been able to participate with Dark Gravity's on, and I always agree with what he's saying. You have to remember, some of these companies are heat treating their knife for a purpose. That knife has a purpose. They had a purpose in mind when they settled on a certain HRC. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to stay sharp as long as my Spyderco is, but it's a different purpose, so it's okay.
That's something that I've said in the past, and I'll say it now, that I disagree with, of my own philosophy or my own understanding of why they're doing it. I think that Rick Hinderer should be using Magna Cut now because it has the same responses as 4V, the same toughness, but the benefits of stainless, or 3V. They should be using, if you're making a folding pry bar, you shouldn't let the community dictate what kind of steel you use. You should use what's right. I mean, if you're going to heat treat it to meet that standard, then use 3V, use 4V, use MagnaCut, use something that is tougher, and so you can heat treat it properly and still have the toughness with one of those 3 types of steels versus using M390 or 20CV and keeping it soft.
I think John may have been in there. I'm not sure if you were Dark Gravity, but Greg Medford did a live here a while back. Not a whole lot of people caught it, but you know, he even said, you know, that the knives that he builds and the purpose that he built them for, 1095 would still be more than acceptable.
Yeah.
And it was during the whole MagnaCut controversy. He was like, you know, for what I built these knives to do, 1095 would be just fine. You know, he never set out to build a knife that would cut 1,000 feet of cardboard. He just didn't. You know, and we forget that. But I think Brian's issue is that Rick was saying he ran it that soft to make it tougher, and Brian was like, no, that excuse doesn't work because MagnaCut is tougher at a higher HRC. So if you're seeking toughness, you should be at a higher HRC, and then edge retention would just be a byproduct of that.
Well, and that's what you get with 3B, 4B, and MagnaCut. You can run them at 63-ish plus, you know, and still have toughness, where with M390, you lose, in 20CV, you lose a lot of that toughness. Yeah. And so that's the reason. I think, like we were talking about with some of the true survival knife community folks using more appropriate type steels based off of testing, I wish the pocket knife community would do the same thing and start using, you know, if you're going to make, like, to me, the Spyderco Para 2 it should be always in something ridiculous like Rex 45, Maximate, something, just some ludicrously hard steel, because Spyderco's will fucking cut.
Kyle, I saw him hitting that vape. I'm going to vote on that. JuhVon's is just super high.
Dude, I've been up for many fucking hours, man. Up for many hours. And I'm really high.
JuhVon, did you ever think there would be a day where you could just go online in front of the entire world and get stoned out of your mind and it'd be okay?
Nope.
5 years ago, I would have never thought that we'd be able to do this.
And our whole Alabama law is so fucked up.
Yeah. Well, we're 10 years behind everybody on everything.
But
the only good thing about that is when they ban guns, it may take us another 10 years. So that's the only good thing about being in Alabama.
I still don't have
everybody wish Gary Last Ranger a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Now let's sing it, John. Y'all ready?
I'm
singing it, John. Are you ready?
Yeah.
2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Gary. Happy birthday to you. You just got copyright struck. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that. Did you?
I don't care.
That's the most copyright struck song in the world. It's Happy Birthday. But we love Gary's Last Ranger. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm not monetizing. Don't care.
Yeah.
But
I got my copyright strike from Man of Constant Sorrow.
Guys, I just got the notification that our brother's going to go live in about 30 minutes. And I know y'all need to refill your drinks and you need to get ready to go over to said faction. And it's going to be on Stevie's channel. Let me link it. Hold on.
I gotta go eat my edible. Get ready.
Hold on a second.
I'm 5 hours behind G-Ball, so I got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, I've got to do a couple of sessions myself. Let me share this copy.
I'm gonna go blow my nose while y'all go get high.
And you're gonna join.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'll be on for some of it. I don't know how long I'll stay awake.
All right, let me go back and find me so I can post it in here. Here we go.
I just opened this guy up. Brand new strawberry Kush.
Oh man.
New strawberry Kush.
I actually have a land-based sativa.
This is a hybrid.
All right, here's said Stevie. Let me go.
For somebody
Ooh,
who works
Josh.
with computers all the time, John, you sure are slow.
Well, I'm multitasking, and I don't know if y'all have read about the Adderall shortage going on in the country, but I've been without my meds for almost a week, and I'm going back into a very scrambled state of having a harder time. Elmer has 18 watching. I bet he's beating him to death with that cowbell.
I bet he ain't for
Elmer.
free.
Guys, I'm going to let everybody talk, but I want to talk first and say I love every one of you, and I appreciate the time that you come by and hang with me. And I appreciate when you look out for the guy or gal to your left. Appreciate it when you look out for the guy or gal to your right. Appreciate when you, like Jared did, you come out with something that's on your mind, but you go at it with love instead of hate. Choose debate over hate, guys, and just love each other. I love you all. Tad or Doc Gravity, you got anything you want to add to these beautiful people before we say goodnight?
Masturbate, don't hate.
Masturbate, don't hate. What about you, Hello Titty?
I want to say Patina's got 92%. I'm headed to his house.
Sounds like a plan. G-Ball, what do you got, my brother? I'm sorry you had sound problems, but you got a badass mic.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sounds great, too.
Good, thanks. Hopefully it's on one of the right settings. There's like 5 of them.
You'll get through that, dude. And just again, I don't know if you saw it earlier, and I haven't talked to you face to face since, but congratulations on amazing, amazing growth, dude. And the reason
congratulations, D-Ball, on the 1500.
If you want to know how to build a YouTube channel, just follow his example. Work
his example.
In the work, do the content, man.
Y'all motherfuckers can't point the right direction for nothing.
Huh?
Y'all motherfuckers can't point the right direction for nothing.
On my screen, I'm pointing right at G-Ball.
G-Ball.
No, you're pointing at the wall. No, you're pointing at the wall, and so is John.
I'll be damned.
I'm pointing right down at G-Ball.
No, you're pointing at
pointing at me.
Okay, we're all different than what we're supposed to be. But G-Ball, wherever he is, he's the man.
Yeah.
See, I don't know who I'm pointing at.
Putting the work in, putting the content out that makes me think, that makes me, and I'm real bad about not liking and not commenting, but I'll get better at that. Ed Harrison, be up, brother. And be up, everybody. I love you all. Let's get over and check out our Brady Said Faction. I'll see y'all next Friday night. I love you all.
See you guys.
Peace.